touch-starved? Do you think men should have their tits out? Is your favorite AO3 tag found family? Do you find supernatural beings more attractive than regular humans? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you may enjoy today's new Danmei series, Legend of Exorcism.
That is a call-out post, if I ever heard one. What's up, guys? It's Kictor. I'm back with my beautiful fiancé, Stitch, for another Danmei book club on Legend of Exorcism, Volume 1.
Brand new series! How exciting!
Yeah, I remember reading the manhua a couple years ago.
I did too!
Yeah,
I remember it being very fun and cute, and I was interested in seeing how the book would hold up in comparison. And of course, the book is hard to beat, right? So I'm very excited to introduce this book. And I have a very compelling list of things that might get you interested in trying this series for the first time.
Okay. If you enjoy youthful, socially oblivious protagonists like Anja from Little Mushroom or Liu from Disabled Tyrant's Beloved Pet Fish,
which we just finished, so if you're looking for a new read with a similar main character vibe, this is definitely the one to try next.
Casual skinship. Oh, I haven't heard that since the K-pop days.
I was trying to find like an appropriate synonym, but I'm like, I could not think of a better word, so that's what we get.
And openly affectionate platonic bonds between male characters.
I've noticed, because I read To Rule in a Turbulent World, a couple volumes of that, so this is my second series by the same author that I've read. And I've noticed that this author really does do a lot more of that sort of affectionate, touchy-feely friendships between men than like any other Danmei. It's usually very, I don't know, more physically reserved. Even the love interests aren't going to maybe touch as much as you want them to. But
maybe touching.
But there's a lot of casual sort of affection shown, which I appreciate.
A historical fantasy setting with unserious hijinks, often derailing otherwise serious moments.
Yes, it has, a lot of the book has the vibes of playing D&D with your friends and the kind of hijinks you would get into trying to do very serious tasks. So if you're kind of interested in that combination of very serious plot things happening with an absolutely unserious group of friends trying to accomplish something, that is the vibe for sure.
Love interests being put into gratuitous sexual situations.
Yes, you know, like, oh no, we've tripped and fallen on top of each other. Oh no, we have our shirts off and people have seen us in this compromise. It's just, it goes on and on. But the main characters, the love interests, are constantly being put into these situations that they would ordinarily never be in.
Right.
Being very, I don't know, very proper and very oblivious. It just happens naturally. So, lots of things to look forward to.
Yeah.
So let's get into what the story is actually about. This is a story about a boy with two dads.
Ah.
And a third guy.
Okay.
Once upon a time in the Tang Dynasty, 200 years before our story actually begins, there were 3 Yao kings who ruled from Yaojun Palace, a beautiful magic-infused paradise hidden high in the snowy Taihung Mountains. The first few chapters are full of gorgeous description that really bring you into this magical, unfamiliar setting. These 3 kings, Chongming, Kongshuan, and Qingxiang, were very close, but something happened between them. Chongming and Kongshuan got into some sort of a disagreement or argument that led to Chongming telling Kongshuan to get out of his sight. Around the same time, a war broke out between the Yao and evil forces led by a heavenly demon named Mara, who was determined to destroy the human race. The Yao were defeated, and Chongming retreated into solitude after being poisoned with fire venom.
Ooh.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. All of these details are sprinkled into the first few chapters for the reader to piece together, but I've painted a big picture to the best of my ability. I'm sure we'll learn the exact timeline in a bit more detail later.
Yeah.
So, 200 years pass. The human world is slowly being overrun by bestial Yao, mortal enemies of Yaojun Palace, and Mara, who seems to be basically the Sukuna of the situation.
Okay.
He's due to return to the human world and destroy it once and for all. Or it might be more accurate to say Mara is being intentionally reincarnated by evil forces within the human realm, incubated in some kind of living, willing vessel. Around this time, Kongshuan fathers a child with a human woman and meets an untimely end 4 years later. Our story opens on a scene in which the orphan child is brought by Qingxiang to Chongming. Qingxiang tries to convince Chongming to adopt the boy, emphasizing that this is Kongshuan's child. He has his eyes and features and even carries his sacred light. Changming tells him to yeet the little guy off the mountains, openly resentful towards humans in general. However, the news of Congshuang's death also reduces him to silent tears.
Oh.
It seems that due to his deep attachment and lingering regrets, Changming can't bear to actually abandon the child. And so two of these three guys are our protagonist fathers.
So Changming, the adoptive dad, extremely hot in multiple regards.
Yeah, physically attractive, and also he's a phoenix with fire powers, so very red fire guy coded.
A literal phoenix with fire powers and a fiery temper. Carries a flame for Congshuan despite falling out with him years ago.
Like the fire pun.
We love that. Hates humans for taking Congshuan away from him.
They are very gay.
Okay.
They were definitely lovers of some kind. That is the only explanation. There is no heterosexual explanation to this. But Congshuan is kind of throwing a little heterosexual edge into things because he is Hongjun's biological father.
Mm-hmm. So Congshuan, biological dad, dead. Context clues indicate he was a peacock.
Yeah, hopefully I'm not wrong on that, but I'm pretty certain.
Got with a human woman and had Hongjun. Probably liked humans well enough considering he got one pregnant.
Yeah.
Okay. And Chingshang, the fun uncle, also super hot and shirtless. A giant black bird of some kind. Very chill and normal about humans. Can't tell if he's their third or just the third wheel. Oh my god. Okay.
He's my favorite. He's so fucking hot. He has giant wings. He's just... Oh my god, that's so cool. Giant wings, no shirt, sign me up. So let's introduce our protagonist now. Sure enough, for the next 12 years, he raises Hongjun as his adopted son and the Prince of Yaojin Palace. Although Changming can be moody, stern, and temperamental, it seems like genuine affection runs deep between him and Hongjun, who grows up with an innocent and cheery personality and gets into plenty of mischief with the best of intentions. Chingshang also visits from time to time, always bringing Hongjun presents and treating him like a much-beloved nephew.
Aww.
So a little bit more about Hongjun.
He's half Yao, half human cutie pie who fights with a grappling hook and throwing knives and is protected by a pentacolor sacred light.
From his bio dad.
Very cool. Had a sheltered upbringing in the mountains and has little knowledge of human society. Hijinks will ensue, I'm sure.
Yes. Turns out you can get into a lot of gay situations by not knowing how anything works.
Has an optimistic and earnest personality, very kind to all creatures, and constantly creating hijinks.
Oh my goodness. He is the inciting incident himself. Yeah, and these are all of his different forms. You've got the novel version, you've got the donghua version, and the manhua version. He's a cutie in all of them.
Truly. Oh my god. Okay, we got the Ariel crossover. Changming is
The dad.
and Hongjun is Ariel.
Yeah, he just wants to see the human world, and he's like, fuck no, I hate humans.
Ah, I see.
And he has a fish.
his talking man nanny, Zhao Jilong.
So Hongjun lives a charmed, if not somewhat sheltered life, but he has always wanted to visit the human realm, a big no from his fire dad. But one day, everything changes. During one of his visits, Qingxiang argues with Changming about Hongjun's future. The Tang dynasty is in decline. The human realm is being overtaken by a black Jiao dragon, claiming to be the Yao King, and Mara will return in less than 4 years. In preparation for what may be humanity's final stand, a nationwide summons has been called for young exorcists to join the Department of Demonic Exorcism in Chang'an. Hongjun carries his father's pentacolor sacred light and is thereby in a unique position to not only help the Yao defeat the Black Jiao and destroy Mara's reincarnation, but also avenge his father's death.
Okay, cool.
Qingxiang insists that Hongjun be allowed to go to the human realm, while Changming angrily refuses to help the human race. Ultimately, Hongjun is summoned before them to find his father unusually cold and avoidant. He not only says, "I'm not your father," but tells Hongjun that he must return to the human realm now that he's grown up. Qingxiang is a little bit more diplomatic about it, asking Hongjun to go on a quest in the human realm to fulfill his father's 3 requests. So they've had this whole conversation without Hongjun, and it seems that they've come to the conclusion that he has to go and do these things.
Right.
So these are the 3 tasks that he is tasked with.
Report to the Department of Demonic Exorcisms and join up. Then find the culture reasonable for his birth father's death.
That's enough in itself, but there's 2 more.
Defeat the false Yao King of Chang'an, a black Jiao, and befriend the rightful inheritor of the heart lamp, which takes the shape of a magical crystal pendant, and give him the light contained within.
They're like, oh yeah, there's this magic necklace you need to deliver to the right guy. He's like, how will I know the right guy? Hey, he belongs to this family. The necklace should figure it out. Just go do that. You're like, okay.
I hope the guy who has the light is hot.
You can see where that's going, but yeah. When these 3 tasks are completed, Hongjun can return home. Hongjun is not daunted by the immensity of any of these tasks, but cheerfully promises to complete them all within a year. Big goals.
Wow.
Despite casting him out, Chongming seems to be gruffly fretting over his well-being. He reminds him that his pentacolor light will protect him, and that his immortal slaying knives will work against Yao or human. And then he gives him an out to refuse the mission altogether, and ultimately says that he can take one thing from the palace to aid his journey. So he's kind of helicoptering his quest a little bit. You can tell that he still cares, even though he's torn up about it.
Yeah.
Hongjun simply asks for his dad to join him as that one thing from the palace.
Oh.
Saying, you said you would give me anything I want. Well, I choose you. But Chongming refuses this request. That is so sweet. He's such a good boy. Hongjun does not ask for anything else after this refusal. Even so, after he leaves the palace and descends down the mountain, Chongming watches him as long as he can through a magic water mirror. Hongjun knows absolutely nothing about the human world, but thankfully he has a companion to instruct and guide him on all things human. A manmer. A carp yao. His name is Zhao Julong, and his fish body is about 2 feet long, and he has little man legs and arms from a failed attempt to cultivate into human form.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah. And just his existence following Hongjun around pretty much sets the tone for the rest of the book. He's been Hongjun's bestie for 5 years, ever since Hongjun took him home like a stray dog.
Wow.
So, a month later, Hongjun is looking a little worse for wear after being on the road for so long, but he finally arrives in the capital Chang'an. That is, he arrives hot in pursuit of a giant owl monster in the middle of the night. I had to look this up, but an owl is a mythical creature that is essentially a cross between a fish and a dragon.
Like
So-
Ao Bing?
I guess. But in the book, it's described as a horrific-looking catfish with legs. Hongjun attacks it with his elemental throwing knives, which individually contain the properties of wind, water, fire, and lightning.
Hell yeah.
The monster leaps over the city wall and burrows underneath the roads with one of Hongjun's knives stuck in its eyeballs. The city guards sound the alarms and think that Hongjun is also a Yao, chasing him and attacking him with a slew of arrows. Hongjun doesn't want to hurt anyone, but the leader of the guards attacks Hongjun with a sword that has the power to cut through the sacred light. It catches on the heart lamp, shattering it with an explosive blinding light. When Hongjun regains his senses, he finds the guard unconscious and the heart lamp nowhere in sight.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. He has no choice but to carry the guard with him while he finds a place to hide and figure out what the heck to do next. Not knowing what a brothel is, never mind what one looks like, he sneaks into the backyard of one and runs into a nice young lady who lets him hide in one of the bedrooms. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth would she do that? And the answer is because both of these young men are super duper hot. She's like, yeah, you can use one of the rooms. Go at it.
Oh my god.
So she lets them hide in an empty bedroom. The hijinks are only going to continue to ensue. Anyways, after being left alone with this unconscious young man, Hongjun undresses him down to his underwear, opens his robes at the chest, and straddles him.
As you do.
As one does. What was he trying to do again? Oh yeah, he was trying to figure out if the heart lamp accidentally went into this random guy with no spiritual power whatsoever. Meanwhile, Hongjun's carp buddy enthusiastically suggests killing the human to recover the lamp from the body. Suddenly, the unconscious man wakes up and chaos ensues as he finds himself in this compromising position and sees the talking fish. He attacks Hongjun with his sword, causing Hongjun to escape out the window and cross the rooftops. The man tries to chase after him, but instead tumbles down into the neighboring marketplace where he is seen by countless pedestrians. Thus, the embarrassing story of Commandant Li Jinglong fleeing the Spring Oriel brothel in only his pants spreads far and wide throughout the city.
Oh my gosh.
Li Jinglong already has an interesting reputation in the capital. After his father died in battle 4 years ago, he was left with no close living relatives to guide him. He spent his family's fortune on a sword that once belonged to Di Renjie, who founded the Department of Demonic Exorcism and made little progress in starting a career and even less progress starting a family at the ripe age of 20. All due to his standoffish attitude. A cousin with outstanding military achievements eventually set him up with a guard position, but now the same cousin is furious with him for damaging the family's reputation and even flogs him until he's bleeding.
Oh.
Yeah. However, Li Jinglong does not try to defend himself with words or action. He just takes it. So let's learn a little bit about Li Jinglong.
No supernatural capabilities, just a normal mortal man with martial skills. Spent all his money on a magic sword so he could fight monsters. Has a dead-end career as a capital guard because he refuses to show off his abilities or schmooze the wealthy. Serious, principled, and diligent despite being a perpetual underdog. And also he's super fucking hot.
And he's super fucking hot. Which is the important part.
Yeah.
So, as you may or may not have guessed, this is our other main character, the love interest of Hongjun. But now we're going to meet the rest of the cast. So Hongjun is a resilient lad and not nearly as disheartened as he should be about losing not only one of his knives and the monster he was chasing, but also the heart lamp. Instead of reporting to the Department of Demonic Exorcisms, he explores the city, enjoying new foods and books. He loses track of the time and can't find a place to stay before the city's curfew, so he crashes in a dilapidated, abandoned residence for the night. In the morning, a handsome young hunter from the Shiwei tribe named Mergen arrives, asking where to report in. Turns out the rundown, empty estate is actually the Department of Demonic Exorcisms. Then, a handsome foreigner arrives. His name is, drumroll please, Tyropotamia Hamahak Hamarubai. Atai for short. Finally, a scholar named Chu Youngse arrives to round off the group. Chu Youngse, God bless him, has no defining characteristics at this time except for looking harmless.
Wow.
Together, they have the makings of a fully functional D&D party, and that is exactly the kind of energy you can expect from them moving forward. Atai is friendly and even downright flirty, teasing Hongjun because he's cute and innocent. Mergen has more of a responsible older brother sort of vibe towards Hongjun, protecting him from Atai's teasing and being quick to look out for him. Chu Youngse is a nerd who is just trying his best to do his part despite lacking bravery. The four of these dumb boys instantly get along and decide to wait together for more exorcists to come along, striking up an impromptu band together with Atai playing the lute and singing, Hongjun drumming with sticks on a broken bowl, Mergen twanging his bowstring, and Chu Youngse hitting a big rock.
Aww.
It is at that moment that Li Jinglong opens the door of the courtyard and sees them all.
So Mergen, handsome young hunter from the Shiwei tribe, skilled at archery, plus has another surprising ability to be revealed in this volume.
A sexy archer? Hello.
And the personality of a reliable elder brother. We love that.
Can you guess that he's my favorite?
Yeah.
Okay. I was hoping it wasn't too obvious, but
Atai, full name is Tyropotamia Homahak Hammurabi, hails from Takharistan.
Takharistan is a medieval-era name for a region in Central Asia that is today in the general vicinity of Afghanistan and Iran.
Has fire magic and can enchant people with his magical lute. Dangerous. Friendly, flamboyant, and even flirty. And Chu Youngse, a scholar somewhat lacking in courage and physical strength, but determined to do his part, has no other defining characteristics this point in time. God bless him.
But he does have a very cool reveal in his volume that really skyrocketed him into, I don't know, it's hard to choose a favorite. I love everyone in this book so much, but I thought his ability was really cool. Li Jinglong opens the door and sees them all together, rocking out. Why is he there? We're about to find out. Upon locking his gaze with Hongjun's beautiful eyes, he yells, "Give me back my virtue!" and draws his sword to attack him.
Oh my gosh.
He, took the brothel incident pretty hard. Hongjun manages to deflect his sword and disarm him with his throwing knives while his new companions jump Li Jinglong and throw him through the window, knocking him unconscious. This poor guy ends up unconscious so many times.
I love how the gang immediately had his back.
Absolutely. They all love Hongjun and just are immediately on his side, unquestioned. They tie him up while Hongjun tells the story about why this guy keeps attacking him. And then they pick up the scroll Li Jinglong was carrying. It's an Imperial edict from the Emperor stating that Li Jinglong is the new head of the Department of Demonic Exorcisms, That's right, they just attacked and tied up their new boss. It seems that the current emperor does not take the threat of Yao seriously, and thus the department has dwindled away into nothing since Di Rengzhe's passing years ago. With the news of Li Jinglong's scandal circulating the capital, the emperor decides on a whim to appoint him as the head of the practically non-existent department of demonic exorcisms in lieu of exiling him to some far-off military post, out of courtesy to his cousin in high standing. Anyways, our dumb boys are panicked at what they've just done. Hongjun tries to wake Li Jinglong to apologize, but is too gentle in his attempts, so the carp spirit vigorously slaps him awake before anyone can stop him. So then, Atai bonks Li Jinglong back into unconsciousness with his lute out of sheer panic. Like, straight up just hitting him with the instrument. That is, like, my favorite gag.
Yep.
It happens in Peerless too. You know, just using the guqin as a blunt instrument of damage. Chu Yongse, debatably the smart one, suggests untying him, leaving him on the couch, and completely denying that anything happened when he wakes up on his own. And it's the perfect plan. Unfortunately, Li Jinglong is already awake and hears their whole plan.
Mm-hmm.
The level of tomfoolery in this story is just insane. So that's how the gang meets each other.
The author enjoys humiliating Li Jinglong at every opportunity, and I am unexpectedly into it.
I cannot stress that at some point it has to be a kink, because this man just keeps going through it. As we've seen, Li Jinglong is furious that his reputation has been so thoroughly ruined, even his only family refusing to believe his side of the story. But he is willing to endure that personal humiliation to focus on the bigger matter at hand, rekindling the legacy of Di Rengzhe's fight against the Yao. However, the other exorcists are underwhelmed and even demoralized by Li Jinglong being their leader. You see, despite being a strong martial artist and carrying a spiritual weapon, Li Jinglong himself is an ordinary man. He doesn't have any spiritual power whatsoever, compared to, you know, someone like Atai who can set things on fire with his mind. The exorcism department seems like a doomed cause, but what Li Jinglong does have is tenacity. Over the next few days, he cleans the entire residence, buys supplies, hires renovators, and makes the department headquarters not only functional, but beautiful. He doesn't demand that the others help, and indeed, his subordinates spend their same few days loafing around. After the residence is made spick and span, Li Jinglong brings his subordinates together over tea and openly admits that he is nowhere near their level as an ordinary mortal. Nevertheless, the fact that they are all gathered here together seems to be the mysterious work of fate. Perhaps even Di Rengzhe's will from beyond the grave. If they're willing to stay, Li Jinglong will have them registered as officials to start solving any cases or incidents with supernatural elements.
Nice.
He's very serious and professional during all of this, but deep down inside he's practically squeeing when all four of them agree to stay.
Oh.
Like, there's this moment where he's by himself afterwards where he's just like, yes! And then Hongjun sees him do that, of course.
Oh my gosh.
So he's very earnest and kind of dorky, but he's trying to be serious and professional and a good boss, you know?
Yeah.
Hongjun in particular is oblivious to the barriers of social norms, hierarchies, and abrasive personality, so he's very casual and friendly with Li Jinglong, despite how they got off on the wrong foot. Li Jinglong is unsettled by Hongjun's innocent lack of inhibitions, such as his tendency to hold on to his sleeve.
Oh.
Like, it's so cute because Hongjun has just grown up around, you know, his dad, his uncle, and just being very affectionate and normal with his family, and he just kind of takes the same energy with all of his new friends. Li Jinglong helps Hongjun track down what remains of the Chen family, which is supposed to inherit the missing heart lamp. Unfortunately, the man of the house passed away from illness, leaving only his widow and baby. Hongjun tries to expel the heart lamp from Li Jinglong so that it at least goes into the baby instead, but nothing happens except for Li Jinglong spitting water all over the lady and her baby.
Oh my gosh.
Poor man can't catch a break. After they return to headquarters, Hongjun finally tells him the full story about the heart lamp. Although Li Jinglong was angry about being humiliated in front of others once again, he calms down as soon as he's given an explanation and even cooperates with Hongjun to figure out if the heart lamp is in his body. Hongjun places his hands on Li Jinglong's titties and floods his meridians with spiritual power. He's just barely able to sense the dormant seed of power hidden within his heart when a couple of court officials walk in, only to see Li Jinglong being milked in broad daylight.
Milked.
I have taken that verb directly from the text, by the way. It says milked.
Oh my god.
Physically. On the page. So, yeah. That's why I think the author has a little bit of a sick jolly from humiliating this man. And it's kind of hot, honestly. I like to see him humiliated. There's something about a dork being tortured.
Oh my god. Is the Department of Exorcism a joke to you? Don't answer that.
Anyways, the Department of Demonic Exorcisms gets its first case. It's from the Emperor's consort's elder sister. She wants them to find her missing cat. Li Jinglong is outraged that the department is being treated like a joke, but ultimately, he's the only one earnestly committed to completing the mission anyways. It's not like they have anything better to do. Hongjun is the only one to have spent time getting to know Li Jinglong and truly appreciates that he's principled and committed, especially after learning how much Li Jinglong has always yearned to make a difference and serve the nation by carrying on Duke Di's abandoned legacy, despite having no spiritual power himself. But the other 3 exorcists look at Li Jinglong as an outsider and would rather goof off and play together, encouraging their little bro Hongjun to join them. But Hongjun is such a certified cutie patootie that they end up helping him look for the cat instead. They're like, fine, if you want to do it, we'll help too.
Aww.
So that's very cute. I'm glad that they're supportive. And so they all end up looking for the cat. Our protagonists suspect that something supernatural may have scared the pampered cat into hiding nearby. Otherwise, it would have long since returned home. Hongjun draws posters for the missing cat. Although the drawings are so bad, a friendly monkey that Hongjun freed from a street performer is able to glance at it and lead them to the infamous white cat.
What?
The power of friendship! Who was snoozing on a rooftop by the brothel that gave Li Jinglong his recent claim to fame. However, the cat cunningly evades 2 grown men, a fish carp, and a net before slipping into a brothel called Poetess's Pavilion. Our brave heroes chase it into an empty room, but the cat is hidden out of reach underneath the bed. Hongjun crawls under the bed to catch it when suddenly voices are heard approaching the room. Li Jinglong has no choice but to hide under the bed as well, creating a spooning situation, which is key for what happens next.
Oh boy. Hongjun and Li Jinglong under the bed. A secret third thing.
2 people come into the room, a prostitute named Jinyun and Li Jinglong's former boss, who refused to believe him about the brothel situation and thus sealed his public disgrace. They start getting it on, and the sounds of their coupling are impossible to ignore. Hongjun is vaguely horrified by the dirty talk and ambiguous sounds above him, but also keenly aware of the intimate way in which he and Li Jinglong are pressed together.
Oh my
god. The heat of their bodies mingling and something hard pressing against his back.
Stop! A boner!
That's right! We have a boner.
Oh my god.
To make things perfectly clear, Li Jinglong has sprung a boner at this pressing time. For better or worse, I don't think Hongjun knows what a boner is or how sex works, and that will be confirmed later in the book, so yeah, he doesn't know what's going on.
Okay.
He's completely oblivious. He did not get the talk, the birds and the bees from his dad or his uncle or anybody. Anyways, the cat tries to escape from Hongjun's grasp and claws the miscellaneous wrapped bundles being stored underneath the bed, unwrapping a desiccated corpse right next to them. Hongjun's small shriek of terror is drowned out by the passionate vocals of lovemaking overtop them, but the most romantic part of this unhinged scene is that Li Jinglong instantly shields Hongjun's eyes and holds him tightly in a protective embrace.
Pulling him right against his boner.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming he's kind of lost the boner when the corpse is revealed. but yeah.
Yes.
That
is very sweet.
It was very sweet. I'm gonna hold on to that. That's so sweet. Let's ignore how fucked up this scene is otherwise. Thankfully, endurance isn't the boss's strong suit, so the couple soon leaves and our protagonists are then able to escape. However, this brings me to a philosophical dilemma. What constitutes a coffin? Is it merely a container designed to contain a corpse, regardless of the presence or absence of said corpse, or would a tightly enclosed space containing a corpse also count as a coffin? If so, could this scene be considered a coffin boner scene akin to that in 2GCF, Scumvillain, and Arha? Discuss. What do you think?
I was gonna say, well, like a coffin, you know, it has to be sealed, but the coffin in Scumvillain isn't sealed.
And, like, to describe the bed that they're under, it's a bed that's designed to, like, kind of hide storage, so it is, like, almost fully enclosed. Like, there is a bunch of stuff under it. There's kind of, like, sides and, like, walls to the bed. It's kind of, like... It is very enclosed. Like, they managed to, like, scoot under there and hide, but, like, they're hidden, you know?
Somebody did put a dead body there.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty much a coffin.
Any coffin points it might lose for not having the
right
regular structure of a coffin, it gains back by having the presence of a corpse.
I do think so. I think if there wasn't a corpse there, it wouldn't really count as a coffin scene, coffin boner scene, but I feel like it kind of, I don't know, works its way in there. It has the same vibe.
That's so funny.
You know, the tightly enclosed space element creating the boner, and then it has the coffin element separately, but
That's hilarious.
That's so funny. You know, I'm interested in hearing more perspectives on that philosophical dilemma.
Oh, hell yeah.
After that fucky situation, they gather the gang together to figure out how to investigate this murder. Strangely enough, no missing persons have been reported in the capital, which leaves the body unexplained. Furthermore, the crispy state of the body suggests that a Yao sucked it dry of blood and essence.
Ew.
To the members with exorcist powers, the whole red light district is rife with Yao energy. It's just obvious that there's a problem. And as they're discussing this back at headquarters, the rescue cat breaks free and starts chasing the carp spirit around. Everyone's running around trying to catch it, and ultimately a box containing oblivion pollen is knocked over.
Oblivion pollen?
The pollen is supposed to erase the memories of any bystanders who might get caught up in their supernatural hijinks, but it also works just as well on all of them. So everyone stumbles around in blind confusion until the immune carp spirit chases them out into fresh air. They're all just like, who am I? Who are you? What's happening?
That's so silly.
What? I know. Like, they literally, a scene cannot be serious all the way through. Something silly has to happen. But what comes out of this situation is that Hongjun actually regains a memory he didn't have before. A memory of the night his parents died.
Oh.
He was there at the Department of Exorcism. He was there at this headquarters, at the department, crying over the bodies of his murdered mother and father when Chang'an arrives to rescue and comfort him. Like, this took place here. So, like, that's crazy. That's, like, crazy information that he has this connection to the Department of Exorcisms that he wasn't aware of before.
Yeah.
And that his father must have had a connection to the department. Chang'an looks extremely sexy in that scene, by the way. But Hongjun is left feeling dazed and uncertain by this information. All of his gagas fret over him, but Li Jinglong most of all. Maybe it's just because he feels responsible for his subordinates, but later that night he enters his room to sit by his bed and place his hand atop Hongjun's, telling him that he can talk to him anytime if something is on his mind.
Oh, that's nice.
They're quite sweet to each other. After that moment, Hongjun feels that he can trust him implicitly, so that's sweet.
That's very cute.
Yeah.
It's kind of looking at the picture of him, he looks like he kind of would be more standoffish and like mean. So it's nice to hear that he has like these nice, intimate, emotional moments too.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting the same thing. You got kind of like a sunshine and a grumpy guy, but he's really not good at being grumpy. He's
That's
quite
cute.
sweet.
Translator's note, Kikaku means plan, all according to Kikaku.
Don't worry, guys, we have a keikaku for this. After that night, the gang launches a keikaku to invent... Later that night, the gang launches a plan to investigate the poetess's pavilion. Atai and Chiu Yongsa provide a distraction inside, with Atai playing a magically mesmerizing song that captivates all who hear it. His comrade, of course, has stuffed his ears with cotton so that he is not also mesmerized as well. Mergen is on lookout outside, and Li Jinglong is busy explaining sex to Hongjun, who won't stop questioning him about what makes a brothel so bad.
Oh my god.
Naturally, Hongjun's next question is whether Li Jinglong goes to brothels. Li Jinglong insists that he does not care for those kind of short-lived entanglements. Kinda gay.
Kinda gay.
Back to business. The two of them sneak back into the room to uncover the body, which appears to be that of a middle-aged man, possibly that of a scholar from outside of the capital. But how do they plan on unmasking the culprits responsible? As you can imagine, they have devised a scheme of immense subtlety and tact. They throw the dead body over the banister into the crowd of enchanted brothel customers.
Ah.
Just yeet it right into the crowd. Atai is not informed about this change in plan because his music stops in his utter shock, and the disenchanted patrons of the brothel descend into utter pandemonium at the sight before them. However, 3 of the prostitutes do not seem shocked or scared, but alarmed in a more knowing way. And I guess that was the intention behind throwing the body in, just to see who recognized the body.
Right.
And was like, who the fuck took my body out of its coffin? Hongjun throws his remaining throwing knives at them, stabbing all 3 in the shoulder. The women flee out of the brothel in the panicked crowd. Mergen shoots one of them with his arrows and accidentally kills her, revealing the body of a fox Yao.
Oh.
The gang splits up and chases after the remaining 2 foxes, while the fish carp uses the last of their oblivion pollen to calm the masses. When Hongjun and Li Jinglong finally corner one of the foxes, it grows 10 feet tall and breathes fire at them.
Oh.
Then a giant wolf comes out of nowhere and bites its throat, helping them take down the monster with Hongjung's throwing knives.
Hell yeah.
Next slide.
To the best of my knowledge, this is what we have to look forward to.
Oh, brother. As soon as that wolf appeared, I knew in my heart that it was Mergen, because the only thing that could make that man sexier is if he could transform into a wolf. Well, guess what? I was right. Mergen is a little bit shy about being a wolf, though. He carries the little tuckered out Hongjun on his back afterwards and tells him that his ability runs in his tribe but hasn't appeared in 100 years. And he doesn't know himself whether he's a Yao or something else.
Oh my god.
So he straight up ignores Li Jinglong, who's right next to them, and is doing him the courtesy of pretending that he saw nothing and is continuing to see nothing. But he asks Hongjun not to tell the others.
Okay.
Additionally, he asked Hongjun if he's ever seen a glowing white deer, because his main reason for coming all the way to Chang'an was to find this deer. Of course, my initial response was to think that this deer is his boyfriend, but then I thought, nah, that's too much to ask. But way later in this volume, Mergen accidentally lets it slip that he's saving his first time for the white deer. Insane statement out of context, possibly insane within context. But at any rate, I love a chaste man. Good for him.
My god. Okay.
Oh, wolf on deer action coming our way?
Damn.
This deer better be a boy, or I'm gonna be mega disappointed. So yeah, that's on Mergen. I love him.
Li Jinglong doing archery trick shots and despising irresponsible rich people.
Robin Hood coded king. I wanted to put in like the Fox Robin Hood, you know, the Disney Fox, but then I thought that's too much furry action going on in these slides.
Daffy Duck is a solid choice as well.
Okay, we can't let the furry thirst show. They meet up with the others after that, who have followed the other Yao back to the rooftops of the Imperial Palace. They're unable to get close without alerting the Yao and causing a ruckus in the palace. However, that Yao still has Hongjun's throwing knife stuck in it, and Li Jinglong has promised to get it back no matter what. Isn't that sweet?
Mm-hmm.
He takes one of Mergen's arrows and lines up a shot in complete darkness, aiming only at the faint clink of the knife against the rooftop tiles as the Yao tries to remove it. The Yao is at least 100 paces away, making it a nearly impossible shot. But Li Jinglong used to be known as an incredible archer in his youth. His reputation faded away into nothing because he refused to pointlessly show off and parade his skills publicly, and was thus denied all the promotions and opportunities to test his skills in battle, eventually falling out of practice and allowing his skills to grow rusty. But the arrow sails through the darkness, and the Yao makes no sound of pain. Only a splash as its body falls into a pond within the palace walls. He does make the shot.
Awesome.
Li Jinglong sighs in relief and smiles, the first time he has smiled in front of the rest of the exorcists.
Aww.
Everyone finds it awkward and off-putting, except for Hongjun, who tells him he looks pretty nice when he smiles.
Aww, that's sweet.
Everyone else is like,
ugh.
It's like that meme of like, you never seen a grown man smile. Like, you know.
Yeah, now you have.
Now you have, yeah. The fox is gravely injured but still alive, so they take it back to headquarters and give it medical care in order to interrogate it. The fox, who is also the prostitute Chang'an, we saw earlier, remains completely silent, but no matter, they already plan to use the fox as bait. Eventually, someone should come to either rescue it or silence it. At the same time, there seems to be some sort of conspiracy happening between Mergen, Atai, and Chu Yangse. They seem to know each other far better than they should, and also seem to be united towards a common goal unknown to both Li Jinglong and Hongjun. Despite looking down on Li Jinglong all this time, after seeing his spectacular marksmanship and how he unhesitatingly risked his life to protect others while battling the Fox Yao, the three exorcists decide that he may be fit to defeat the Yao King after all.
Nice.
So it seems like the other exorcists are aware of this Yao King, and Hongjun is aware of this Yao King as well. But I mean, the normal people in the capital and Li Jinglong don't know about this kind of battle happening in the shadows with this Yao King. So that's going to be a pretty interesting reveal. Li Jinglong and Hongjun go to the Duchess's manor to return her lost cat, and we get to see with great clarity why Li Jinglong can't get ahead in society. He refuses to suck up to wealthy people and doesn't hold his tongue about what he really thinks, which is that the extravagant nobility should be ashamed of their frivolous lifestyles when common soldiers bleed and die for their nation with the most meager salaries. Speaking of meager salaries, Li Jinglong is mega broke after renovating the department headquarters and can barely afford to eat until payday, but he still insists on paying for lunch when Hongjun is hungry for noodles.
Oh,
He's like, I'm the top, damn it. It's no wonder that the other exorcists have started jokingly referring to Hongjun as the chief's man.
oh my god, already?
Like, we see what's happening here.
That's cute.
It's
I
very
like that.
Cute. It is very cute. I feel like this author in general, and in the series in particular, being gay is very just, I don't know. It's not something to discover or talk about.
Yeah, it's just
in
normal.
general. It's kind of more of a normal thing, unless you're oblivious or kind of a prude, which our love interests are.
Yeah. Good news. The owl monster is also hot.
That was the only picture I could get of him from the Donghua, but just trust me on this. He's also described as kind of hot in the book. So, they give custody of the fox to Hu Sheng, Li Jinglong's former boss in the Longwu Guard, and former lover of Jin Yun. Hu Sheng doubts whether this fox is actually a Yao, never mind the woman he had slept with multiple times, but when the two of them are alone, the fox finally speaks and spins a sad tale about how she and her sisters had no one to rely on in the human realm, leaving no choice but to sell themselves in the red light district. But that they never harmed anyone. Her pleas for mercy let down Hu Sheng's guard, allowing her to knock him unconscious with great regret, as it seems her feelings for him were at least in part genuine. Then, a man with a bloody scar on his forehead appears. His name is Fei Ao, and he is none other than the owlfish monster that Hongjun fought when he first arrived. Despite being ordered by their boss to kill Jin Yun, he instead wants to help her escape from the capital. It's kind of romantic. But then the exorcism department is staking out the place and attacks Fei Ao as soon as he leaves the building. Jin Yun is killed protecting him, and Fei Ao escapes in his monster form, funneling out of the city into Danmei Palace, a secondary residence of the emperor outside the capital. Naturally, a lot of property damage occurs as the gang tries to take down this giant monster within the walls of the manor. I haven't gone into a lot of detail about the action scenes, but the whole team working together with their different skills and powers is so fun to read. Fei Ao is severely wounded, but filled with wrath over the death of Jin Yun, and he unleashes an explosive black mist that transforms into countless black owlfish that swarm them. So visually, this is so stunning to read.
Yeah.
And there's like a ton of things happening as like multiple people work together. It's really chaotic, but really cool.
That's cool.
And we get a really cool reveal in this scene as well. Yes! Chu Yongsa, who has done absolutely nothing to actually help from the beginning of the story, is attacked by the fish and panics. He pulls an ink brush out of his robes and waves it in the air. Suddenly, the entire courtyard turns into a beautiful ink painting. What? Everything from the Yao to the surrounding hillside turns into ink and is sucked into an expansive white canvas flat on the ground. The way the technique is described in the book is so awe-inspiring, and it's also featured on an interior art page, which I've included in the slides.
Cool.
Okay, low-key, it's kind of giving Harold and the Purple Crown and Barbie's magic paintbrush, but it's really, really cool.
Hell yeah.
I'm just like, oh no, is he kind of hot too? I'm like, I'm thriving. It's raining men in this book. Chu Yongsa holds this technique long enough for Li Jinglong and Hongjun to attack together using their sword and sacred light. Li Jinglong even shields Hongjun from their fall by twisting them around so that he lands first. Ultimately, Fei Ao is killed by this final strike that they deliver. Faced with the terrifying prospect of paying so much in damages, they go home to sleep off their long battle. They're just like, well, that was crazy. Gotta go take a nap. It's kind of interesting because like the tone is so comedic that you really don't expect like antagonistic characters to die so easily, or the main characters to be so like, I don't know, laissez-faire about killing, you know, Yao or whatnot. But that is just kind of the vibe. And we go into it a little bit because Hongjun, you know, is a very gentle and empathetic person, and he does struggle with being part Yao himself and also killing Yao, even if the Yao are different from his dad.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that a little bit, but kind of that empathy is mixed in with the kind of, you know, violence being the nature of their work.
Totally.
Yeah.
Tang Dynasty Fuzhou's be like, I diagnose you with gay.
So the gang sleeps well into the next day, during which the emperor pays them a surprise visit with his consort and her 2 elder sisters. He is rather bemused when they all bolt out of their rooms in their underwear or pajamas. But the reason behind their visit is to thank the department for returning the Duchess's beloved cat. They gift Hongjun with a box of delicious pastries and Li Jinglong with the title of homosexual. You see, by virtue of hanging out with Hongjun all the time and not being married to a woman, the consort and her sisters have unanimously decided that Hongjun must be his special someone.
Aww.
Thank you, ladies. Hongjun's like, I don't know what that means, but I like the pastries, so thank you. And Li Jinglong's like, fuck. Why can I never catch a break?
Good.
Yeah, so everyone is aware of it except for them.
Nice.
Kind of love that.
Prince of Persia.
Anyways, Altai announces over lunch that he's actually Tigra Yazgadard, the crown prince of Persia, the final remaining member of the last dynasty's exiled royal family after their homeland fell into enemy hands. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
He alone carries the burden of his family's impossible dream to restore their nation. He is now devoting his strength to the Tang Empire, once an ally of fallen Persia, in the hopes that the emperor may someday be willing to lend him an army to restore his country. Like, that's crazy. That is an insane backstory.
Yeah.
He could be the protagonist of his own book.
Yeah.
Naturally, if Chang'an falls to the Yao King, he will have no army to borrow, hence his working in the exorcism department for the time being. The thing is, while the 4 exorcists are all well aware of the Yao King and came to Chang'an for the purpose of defeating him, this is the first time Li Jinglong is hearing about such a king. No one else in the capital even believes that the city is secretly full of Yao, never mind the existence of a Yao King. But he doesn't have time to learn more about this before he's whisked off to take the heat regarding the destruction of Danmei Palace. He's interrogated by the Court of Judicial Review about the Yao and how Danmei Palace was destroyed. Ultimately, with so many witnesses from the palace itself, they're forced to believe that he's telling the truth. But rather than openly addressing the Yao problem within the city, they'd rather completely cover up the incident and disband the Department of Demonic Exorcism. They only just got banded together, now they're being disbanded. Mm-hmm. Li Jinglong is given the verdict that he and his subordinate Hongjun are to return to the Longwu Guard, the other exorcists are to be dismissed, and the Department of Exorcism completely shut down.
Damn.
Li Jinglong is shocked and wholly devastated, but until the news becomes unavoidably official, he decides not to tell the others. This is kind of the type of person he is. He's kind of the type to silently shoulder any emotional burden without relying on anyone.
Yeah.
But he is devastated. This is his whole dream.
Goodbye, cruel world with the nighty-night tea.
It's already late by the time he comes back to the department. Everyone has gone to bed, but then he hears Hongjun cry out his name in his sleep. He's having a nightmare. Li Jinglong races into his room just in time to catch Hongjun as he thrashes off the bed. This is what I mean by being in gay situations.
Yeah.
Hongjun grabs his robes and buries his face in his arm. It's just a very, stop having a nightmare and then just being like, I'm just gonna nuzzle into you, crying out your name in my sleep, shut the fuck up. And then him just being fully on board with I guess I'm this guy now to you.
That's so cute.
It is so sweet. They're genuinely so wholesome to each other. Even without defining the relationship, they're just so sweet to each other. Anyways, after that, they hang out in Li Jinglong's room over a pot of Tang Dynasty equivalent of sleepy time tea, just chatting. Li Jinglong asks if Hongjun is homesick, and Hongjun smiles at him, sparking a new and unfamiliar feeling in his chest. Got a quote to go with that one.
Ooh.
New and unfamiliar feelings in his chest? I know a doki doki when I see one. So Hongjun says, I miss home because I left home, but I like the Department of Exorcism and everyone here too. Li Jinglong looked at him with a trace of confusion. What do you like about the Department of Exorcism? The paracel tree. Hongjun turned and looked out the window. The pieces of art and calligraphy you gave me to decorate his room. The way you take me out and spend time talking to me. I don't know why, but I feel an odd affinity with you, Li Jinglong said quietly. Oh, an odd affinity. How cute.
It's because he's the light to his heart lamp. Come on, they're fated for sure.
Right? Perhaps the calming draught was taking effect. Li Jinglong felt his worries lighten significantly as the scent given off by the medley of herbs rose with the steam through the air. His eyes were drawn to the young man in front of him. Why did he take such pains to look out for him? Was it because he wasn't like the other 3 who each had their own agendas? No. Or was it perhaps because Li Jinglong was charmed by his pretty face? After contemplating this, Li Jinglong decided the answer was also no. What happened tonight? Hongjun asked, looking up from his task. Li Jinglong saw a wisp of uncertainty in Hongjun's eyes. Suddenly enlightened, he let a chuckle slip free. There were so many things Hongjun didn't understand. Unlike everyone else, there was no ridicule in his eyes when he looked at Li Jinglong. He never treated others differently depending on their station, like Li Jinglong's old comrades in the Longwu Guard, who flattered their superiors and belittled anyone they deemed lower than themselves. Hongjun had no guile in his heart, nor any desire to ferret out others' innermost secrets. He didn't have an overinflated idea of his own intelligence, nor did he put himself down. He had no deeply held opinions about the ways of the world, nor the workings of people's heart. He was ignorant as a newborn babe. Who wouldn't like to be friends with such an innocent person? They would neither pull you into a battle of wits nor screw you over in the end. Still delighted by his realization, Li Jinglong chuckled helplessly and shook his head.
Aww.
So it's... I mean, that just kind of sums up the relationship at this point.
Yeah.
You know, to him, Hongjun is just someone who is so easy to like, so easy to get along with. The only person who has never judged him, who just is happy to accept him and like him for who he is.
Yeah.
And that's really special to him. And Hongjun, I mean, he likes everybody, so... But he does, like... I mean, they have a lot of similar values and goals, and Li Jinglong is always so nice to him, so... He's a big fan. Unfortunately, Hongjun made the sleepy time tea way too strong, so they both pass out. Through the open door, they are discovered the next morning in a compromising position. Hongjun fully lying on top of Li Jinglong on the floor of his bedroom, both of them still in their undergarments.
Oh my god.
Like, the other exorcists fully think that they are fucking. And they're just like, okay, guess that's the thing. At any rate, life goes on. Hongjun separates from Li Jinglong for the first time to investigate the Imperial Academy with the scholarly Chiu Young-se. You see, the city's brothels are commonly frequented by visiting scholars preparing for the Imperial exams to become court officials. If the Foxiao were killing multiple men in these brothels, these out-of-towners would be the perfect candidates for other Foxiao to impersonate them. When they go to the Imperial Academy, they look closely at the various scholars and find that many of them subtly show signs of being transformed Foxiao. It seems that these foxes may have someone on the inside to provide them with exam answers, allowing them to pass and ultimately become court officials, literally taking over the government.
Where did you get this image? It's like too perfect.
I know! So yeah, government fox takeover, that's pretty crazy. At night, they covertly mark the hems of each and every sleeping Foxiao among the scholars that are staying in the Imperial Academy, counting a total of 266 Foxiao. Like, this is crazy. Imagine if 266 demons just, like, infiltrated the government right now.
I mean...
That's probably what is currently happening. But it can happen. That is what we're learning. But they've at least marked their clothes to hopefully separate them from the real ones. And they're going to figure out what to do next with that information.
Fellas, is it gay to go on a date with a Yao?
That number truly encapsulates the scale at which Chang'an is being secretly overrun by Yao, right under everyone's noses. Unfortunately, Hongjun has already struck up an instant friendship with one of these Foxiao turned scholars, an enchantingly beautiful young man named Du Hanqing. The two of them met inside the Imperial Academy during his investigation and talked all day about poetry, planning to meet again at the market just for funsies. The rest of the gang thinks this is a great idea for uncovering more information about the Yao, but Hongjun is feeling a little conflicted about inadvertently sentencing his new friend to death, despite the Fox Yao being complicit in the death of the human scholars as well. Li Jinglong chaperones the date secretly by following at a distance, purely for work reasons, of course.
I'm like, he better be jealous.
He's a little bit jealous. He's a little bit concerned, at least. Hongjun takes Du Hanqing to the bookstore and out to eat at a restaurant, and the Fox Yao is genuinely touched by being taken to these places for the first time.
Oh,
He's very low in the hierarchy compared to the other scholars, always bossed around and destined for a life of servitude even after the examinations. He has a low opinion of himself and is enchanted with Hongjun extending friendship to him, openly saying how much he likes him. We've kind of seen that Fox Yao are kind of down to fuck humans, you know? But, Hongjun is just being so nice to him. He's taking him on this date. He is like, I am gay for you. Straight up. This is a date. Hongjun feels awkward and guilty about his mission at this point, but Da Hanqing seems to interpret his lack of response to I like you as simple rejection. So, he's like,
He's like, now I'm worried that we're gonna have to kill you later.
Yeah, not worried about being gay with you. After the date in which he learned nothing of usefulness through the Department of Exorcism, Hongjun is feeling depressed. Li Jinglong scolds him for trusting Yao so easily and insists that Du Hanqing is only trying to use him. Hongjun is troubled not only by his own compassion, but by the fact that he is half Yao himself, which Li Jinglong doesn't know about him.
This is a whole, like, racism story where, you know, his dad, the Yao, hates all the humans, and his new buddies of humans hate all the Yao, and he is the half human, half Yao that's gonna have to branch it all together.
Yeah. He's really worried about Li Jinglong rejecting him on that basis because he's seen how, like, upright and full of justice he is. We can't bring Zootopia into this, too. There's too many furries!
By the way, Li Jinglong is casually waving this thing around.
Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned that he has the magic sword, but, like, it's the master sword, okay? It's a really cool, so super special sword.
Yeah.
Anyways, the department gets matching uniforms made from dark blue silk, the material having been a gift from the emperor and his consort. And somehow, Li Jinglong innately knew Hongjun's exact measurements, despite him not being there for the fitting.
He's like, yeah, about that.
Even the carp spirit gets a little mini robe to wear, by the way.
Oh my god, nice.
And by the way, speaking of outfits, Li Jinglong's super expensive spiritual sword is actually a legendary sword called the Sword of Wisdom, which means very little to us at present, but implies that it'll be able to do lots of randomly cool things as he continues to use it.
Hell yeah.
For now, all we know is that it works great against Yao and also resonates with Hongjun's throwing knives, like an apple tag.
Cool. The perfect plan.
Okay, can you interpret what you think the plan is?
Okay, so if you give a fox Yao a sedative, maybe they have to give him salt, which will make the fox fall asleep.
Pretty much. Unfortunately, they don't get to wear their new outfits for their most important mission yet. All of them covertly take the place of servants at the Imperial Academy as the Imperial exams officially start, so they're in disguise. This exam lasts several days, during which each scholar is secluded separately in a small room in order to ensure that no cheating takes place. They separate and peek into all the rooms, taking note of the scholars with a marker on their hems, and carve a scratch into the corresponding doors. Li Jinglong secretly watches Hongjun to ensure that he marks Du Hanqing's door as well, which Hongjun does do, but only after hesitating and chickening out the first time. That was a really tough situation. It was kind of hard because it's like, oh, is Hongjun gonna cave because that's his friend, or is he gonna be committed to the mission? And then, like, his boss / future boyfriend is looking at him, like, suspecting that he might not do it.
But he did it in the end.
He did do it in the end. But funnily enough, Li Jinglong also witnesses each of the 3 exorcists doubling back to make sure Hongjun marked the door as well. So, like, all of his bros were covering for him, like, in case he did, like, fail to mark the door.
Yeah.
They were like, we're not letting him get in trouble with our boss. We are going to make sure that door is marked.
Damn.
Everyone is very protective of him.
Yeah.
The next step is slipping a sedative into the water brought to each of the marked Yao scholars. Now, you may be wondering, how can they guarantee every single fox will drink enough of the sedative? Li Jinglong dumped some extra salt into the food as well.
Oh, so everyone's literally just parched.
Yeah, everyone's so thirsty after eating their meal that they actually do drink the water.
That's so funny. I love how that's not like a magical thing, which is like, man, everyone's gonna be so thirsty.
Right? I feel like a lot of their hijinks, and it's so funny because, like, even though they're exorcists, it involves a lot of mortal shenanigans, just like random hijinks that involve normal logistics, like being thirsty.
That's so funny.
And I love that he came up with it. He's the big thinker here. He's
Hell
the one
yeah.
pulling off the plan. Now they can wear their uniforms. The Department of Exorcism finishes off their plan by finally acting in an official capacity. Like, they've done all of this under the table. They're not supposed to be doing any of that. They barge their way through the guards and announce that they're on orders from the Emperor to eliminate the Yao who have infiltrated the exams. Despite uproar and resistance from the guards, Li Jinglong marches in and kicks open one of the doors. The human scholar inside yelps. Whoops, wrong door. He kicks open a different door. Lo and behold, there is no one inside but a sleeping fox.
Oh.
I love the gags though. Like that did not need to happen. It's just that is the tone of everything they do. As more and more doors reveal more and more foxes, the officials and ministers gathered around them grow on the verge of a conniption, unable to fathom what's happening and horrified by the severity of the case. They are still convinced that this is all Li Jinglong's doing somehow. Thankfully, the emperor arrives to see for himself and needs no convincing that the situation is very real and would have been catastrophic if not caught in time.
Hongjun watching the Fox Yao be burned alive en masse. No! No! No!
In an unexpected show of mercy, Li Jinglong gives a sleeping Du Haching to Hongjun on the condition that he asks him questions to help further the investigation. When Du Haching wakes up, Hongjun does indeed ask him who was leading the Fox Yao, but Du Haching insists that he doesn't know anything. He himself did not harm any humans. He was too bullied by the other Fox Yao to have the privilege of taking essence from their human victims. Although the Fox Yao ultimately refused to help the exorcists, Li Jinglong personally asked the emperor to spare Du Haching's life on Hongjun's behalf. That is so nice. He did not have to go to the emperor, literally ask the emperor a personal favor on his behalf just to spare the life of this one Fox Yao, just because he was Hongjun's friend.
Considering Hongjun is half Yao, this is looking pretty good for him.
Exactly. The emperor allows it, but the rest of the Fox Yao are burned on the spot. They awaken in the flames with terrible screeches, their bodies releasing a wave of dark and malicious energy from the human victims they consumed. Fun times. Yeah, it was very creepy to read. But at any rate, they're in the good graces of the emperor now, solving a lot of problems for the department's existing debts and uncertain future. Hongjun and Li Jinglong go outside the capital together to release the Fox Yao. And seeing how Li Jinglong treats the Yao with gentleness makes Hongjun realize that his chief wouldn't hate him just for being part Yao. He jumps onto Li Jinglong's back and announces that he likes him so much and cheerfully accuses him of liking little foxes.
Aww.
Hongjun suddenly threw himself at him, jumping onto his back. I like you so much! Get off, this is improper! There's no one else here! Li Jinglong plucked Hongjun off his back. Are you a child? You don't hate Yao at all, do you? Do you, Squidward? Hongjun asked, pleased. I don't hate Yao that can make no acts of evil, Li Jinglong said, serious. You like little foxes a lot too, right? Who doesn't like cute things? Li Jinglong asked. But just because they're cute doesn't mean they can do whatever they please. He poked Hongjun in the forehead.
Calling him cute?
Yes.
Wow.
Right? Like, that was flirty. Like, was he even... Like, it doesn't feel like he's the type of person to, like, know how to flirt. But he is saying these flirty things. Like, he's down so bad. Like, literally, and then after that, like, Hongjun falls asleep on the back of the horse. And he, like, carries him inside and tucks him into bed. It's like, it's just freaking ridiculous how sweet they are together. And that's where Volume 1 comes to an end.
That, honestly, was so good. I didn't get very far into the manhua. I remember the corpse coffin part. But I didn't get to anything with the foxes. So, yeah. And just like the hijinks of the friend group, it really does feel like a D&D campaign, honestly.
Yeah. I remember not feeling very attached to the other exorcists, the side characters reading the manhua. I feel like maybe their personalities didn't come through quite as much for me. So I really enjoyed like the whole group dynamic in this volume. Like that was really awesome. And now I feel like I could go back to the manhua or start the donghua and really like get the most enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, we gotta watch the donghua.
Altogether, I really enjoyed the whole cast of wildly handsome characters and the overall balance between humor, romance, action, and intrigue. The story seems to have it all on top of gorgeous art for both the cover and interior pages. I definitely recommend trying this one out and splurging on the special edition, especially since there's a whole donghua and manhua to read while we wait for volume 2. Yeah, the first volume of this is a special edition. It comes with a bunch of like little cards and art. It was really cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. And the art by Ruthie on the cover and the interior is so good. Like, also, oh my god.
At the back, there's like just kind of like an extra little picture of their full outfits. It's so tempting to want to cosplay them. I have to resist.
Well, thank you so much for another incredible Danmei book club. If you guys would like to purchase this book or order the next one, I'll have the links down below. And if you'd like to hang out with us every Friday at 7 p.m. PST, we do members-only game nights. It's all Danmei related games. We play Gartic Phone, Frantic Fanfic, and just hang out and chat with an incredible community full of fans that love Danmei just as much as you and I. So if you'd like to help support our channel by joining the membership, you can click join down below to learn more about that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!